Supper with Stub, supper with Stub, mixing up drinks and making grub, pairing beer and wine with the dishes we love. Come on in and see the spell of Supper with Stub.
Hello friends, welcome to Supper with Stub. You know what we do here. We drink and we cook things. And today we are drinking and cooking in honor of my favorite ginger, the Rib, because today is her birthday. By the time you see this, her birthday will have been yesterday, but if you hit her up on Twitter at Rib of Cork Envy and wish her a happy birthday belatedly, she won't mind. So everything tonight is in honor of the Rib and things she loves. We're gonna be making some shrimp scampi soon, but as always, we start Supper with Stub with a great cocktail, which is also in honor of the Rib because she loves her gin and she loves her spring summer cocktails. So today's cocktail is the gin and ginger. Yes, delicious, sounds amazing, right? So what we're starting with here is 1/2 ounce of ginger syrup. Ginger syrup is simply a cup of sugar, a cup of water, a 2 or so inch length of ginger roots, peeled and sliced. Boil that off, cover it, let it steep for, I don't know, half hour or so after, strain it, and you have yourself some ginger syrup. All right, to that we're gonna add about 1/2 ounce of lime juice, and once again, the Rib is a little like our friend Aphrodite, loves things a little more bitter and sour. We're gonna add ourselves 3 to 4 dashes of bitters, and today I'm using, what is this? Urban Moonshine bitters that I picked up in Burlington, Vermont. So 1, 2, 3, look at that. The dropper makes it easy. To that, we're gonna add our main ingredient, which is about 2 ounces of gin into this Collins glass. And once again, you see this, I'm using Hendrick's because it is the Rib's favorite gin. So 2 ounces into there. And to that, we're gonna add some ice into the glass. And then on top of that, we're gonna add about 2 to 3 ounces of ginger beer, because this is all about gingers today. Because as all of you know, or most of you know, the Rib is, once again, the hottest, most favorite gingy I know. So to this, we're gonna give it a little stir. You would normally probably garnish this with a lime wedge, but I left those in the fridge, so we're not even gonna do that right now. But this drink is gonna be delicious. I'm gonna give this a little taste if that's all right. Wow. Gonna hand this off camera to the Rib before we get started on our main course here, which is, of course, Rib says this is tasty. She loves it. She didn't taste it until just now. So our main course tonight is shrimp scampi in honor of the Rib. This is what she requested for her birthday dinner. Shrimp scampi is easy peasy to make. We think of it as a dish we only get when we go out, but it's so easy to make at home. So I have my skillet here heating up. In the meantime, I've got some water boiling over here that I'm just gonna put a whole pound of angel hair pasta into. It's ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and start that going right there. Bam. All right, so to this pan here, I'm gonna add lemon juice, all the things on the side. You're just adding all of these things at one time here. There's some butter. We got some pepper in here. The thing I'm gonna add last, there's oregano flakes. As always, I always tell you we add our garlic last because we don't want to burn our garlic. So I've turned my heat up here so everything's going well. So we have salt, pepper, all these things. Now, if you look at any shrimp scampi recipe on their interwebs, you're gonna find they always say put some pepper flakes in there. Red pepper flakes are optional for a little bit of a kick. Today, instead of red pepper flakes, what I'm using is the Kiss the Devil chili pepper wine from my friends at the Peaks of Otter Winery. And I'm only using like literally a 1/4 ounce of this because this stuff is killer hot. It literally is basically fermented pepper juice. It's amazing. It's great for cooking. I personally don't like it for drinking, but for cooking, it is amazing. So you see we have our shallots in here, we have our butter, we have our olive oil, we have all the things in there. The only 2 things I didn't add as of this point is our garlic, because I want to get this to a little bit of a boil before we do that, and to melt our butter here. All right, so you can see our butter is melted, everything's getting nice and incorporated. I'm getting some nice aromatics from definitely that pepper wine. I got to be honest. That's opening up the springtime sinuses already. The shallots are just starting to turn a little bit of a color. At this point, we're going to go ahead and add our garlic in here. Once again, remember from other episodes or any cooking show or any cooking you've ever done, you want to add your garlic for just about a minute or so before you reduce heat on things so you don't burn it. You just want to get some aromatics out of there. Now we're going to turn this up just a hair. All right, so we turn this back up. It's bubbling just a little bit. Now I add, personally, a little bit of flour here. What this is going to do is thicken our sauce, because a lot of complaints when you're making shrimp scampi in the sauce is what you end up getting is a sauce that's not quote unquote sticky. Meaning this is not a ladling sauce, this is a sauce that you mix with the pasta, which we're gonna get to later. But I add just a little bit of flour to make sure it gets thick. A little bit like the roux we made last week, or was it last week we did the gravy? I believe it was. The traditional southern gravy. So we have that, and you see that flour is just incorporated, and as this cooks a little more, that's gonna be perfect. Now to this, we're gonna add about a quarter-ish or so cup of dry white wine, and get that all in there, and bring everything back to a slight boil and bubble. All right, once again, we're to the slight, just starting to a rolling simmer, if that's a thing, and to that, we're gonna add our shrimp. Now I've got the peeled and deveined shrimp that I bought here today, fresh from the seafood counter. We're gonna set this in. Just put this in a nice level layer here and let it simmer and kind of toss it around as the shrimp are cooking. This process is only gonna take on a medium to medium-high heat about 3 to 4 minutes at the most. All right, friends, you see the shrimp's been in here about 2.5 to 3 minutes. It's fine. So what's happening now is these tails are getting a little orangish, as you can see from this overhead shot here, and the shrimp's just beginning to pinken up. We're gonna let this go for another minute or so before we drain our pasta, which I've already started doing, and mix our meal here. All right, friends, you can see here our shrimp is about done. Once again, you get that little pinkish in there. All of the tails are basically orange. So we're gonna go ahead and move this over to our serving area here. Now, I want to apologize for a lack of an overhead shot here today. Had some camera difficulties this week, and by that I mean accidentally broke a camera. That happens. So we have our pound of angel hair pasta. I didn't tell you how to make that. The key to nice pasta is don't overcook it and put a little bit of olive oil or some other type of oil in there so it doesn't stick. So to this, we're literally just gonna pour all of the shrimp and sauce into a large bowl and toss this together. All right, friends, so simple plating here. We're gonna take a plate or a large, wide, shallow bowl and dip ourselves up some pasta and shrimp on top of it. Now, the downside to tossing everything together with the shrimp in there is that sometimes the plating is not as pretty as you would like because the shrimp are maybe below it. Some people take the shrimp out, toss the sauce, and then add the shrimp at will. Me, I don't really care. Once again, I operate on the Grandma Helen principle, and that is we care about taste, not what things look like. Now to this, we're gonna add just a little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese over the top and a little more pepper if that's to your taste. All right, so we have our plate here. Once again, apologize for the lack of overhead shot. I'm trying to do this quickly because the rib is ready to eat for her birthday. I'm gonna taste a little bit of the pasta without the shrimp right now. Garlicky, delicious. Now, what do we pair with this? Today we're pairing a white wine. It happens to be the same white wine we used to cook with, and today this is a white Bordeaux. This is the Alto de Continent Brown white Bordeaux. So white Bordeaux, you're looking at Semillon and Sauv Blanc. The thing I love about white Bordeaux, and we always think about Bordeaux wines as being red. I mean, these are the first growth, beautiful wines, legendary wines of the world, right? The great things about these wines is they still have this great acid, especially from the Sauv Blanc in there, but you get this minerality in the white Bordeauxs that are just complements the little bit of the creaminess of the butter in the sauce here, but also with the little minerality competes well enough also with the acid from the lemon in the dish. Let's try these two things together. Those two things, I'm gonna have to cut and just eat here and come back in a bit. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you that there's such a great pop from the citrus of the lemon in the sauce, but that minerality and just hint of creaminess. And when I say hint of creaminess in the wine, I mean hint of creaminess. This is not like a Chardonnay butter bomb from California. This is an amazing minerally wine that really, really goes well. Now, most of you, or a lot of you, I won't say most, a lot of you aren't going to drink wine with this meal. You want a beer pairing for it. Well, today I've got what I think is a great beer pairing. This is the Firestone Walker Lager beer. This hits the scales at 4.5% alcohol. But what you want here again is a nice crispness that will compete well with the slight creaminess and even the acid of the sauce here. So we're going to go ahead and give this a go. This Firestone Walker Lager is kind of a Helles style lager, if you know what that is, a German style lager, but it's crisp, it's clean, it's fresh, it's low alcohol. So this is a great spring summer beer, regardless of what you're having to eat as well. Let's give this a go together. So this is not an overly hopped or overly bitter beer. It's delicious. The malt character really comes out, especially when you're having it with a citrusy meal as we are at the moment. So great pairing here. I've done some good work here today, just so you know. And I think the rib's gonna appreciate all of this work, and that may pay off for me later. I mean, how is it her birthday and I'm the lucky one? I don't know. So there you have it, friends. Shrimp Scampi. Make it at home. It's easy, it's fast. This entire meal from start to finish will take you under a half hour. And that's even throwing some bread in the oven if you want it. We're not doing that today because we're watching our carbs coming into the spring and summer. But great Shrimp Scampi, white Bordeaux, perfect pairing with this meal, as is the Firestone Walker Lager in the Helles style. Well, thanks for joining me today. Until next time, stop coveting, start drinking, and remember, there's always a seat for you at the table for supper with Stub. Cheers, friends.